Hi, welcome along to a brand new show where we take a look at Arsene Wenger's press conference, which is always pretty entertaining. First of all, let's get into the injury situation. That's the first and foremost, most important thing of any press conference. And the news that everybody wanted to find out today was what is happening with France's Coquelin. Will Coquelin be fit to face Leicester City on Saturday? And unfortunately, the news is not good at all. Well, when I say not good at all, in a way, it's good news that it's not looking like it's a long-term injury. But it's bad news in that he's not going to be fit, according to Arsene Wenger, to play tomorrow. Wenger actually said, Coquelin is improving well, but will not be available. He might start practicing tomorrow. So looks like Coquelin's definitely going to be out. And that means that it's going to be one of two who are probably going to come in for him. Either it's going to be Mikel Arteta, who played very well the other night, or Matthew Flamini. Who will he go for? In the press conference, he was sort of, suggesting that he may go for Flamini, especially off of the back of, Flamini's on a high. Obviously, he scored a couple of goals, but he said he's going to have a look at his fitness levels. Obviously, he hasn't played for a while. First game of the season the other night, and, that would have taken a lot out of him. So they're going to look at his fitness, but it'd be one of those two starting tomorrow. And they're going to have a big job on their hands because they're going to be up against a very quick and tricky Mahrez. Leicester City as a whole, a very quick team. And that's why I would have loved to have had Coquelin in there to look after Mahrez. But now it's going to pass off to one of those two, either Mikel Arteta or it's going to be Flamini. A big opportunity for both of them again to put in a great performance and, take the pressure off of Wenger and take the pressure off of themselves as well, because a lot of fans have been saying that they're not adequate replacements. Let's see how well they did. They did brilliantly the other night, but Coquelin will not be playing tomorrow, and it's going to be one of Arteta or Flamini who comes in for him. Wenger also had some good news on the injury front when it came to Jack Wilshere. He said that Jack Wilshere's leg surgery was successful. That's a surgery on that broken leg. It's been successful. They're very happy with it, and they're sort of saying that he should be back by Christmas. Whether it's Christmas this year or next year, with Arsenal, you never know. But hopefully, all jokes aside, he should be back in time for Christmas, which that would be fantastic news to get Jack Wilshere back and playing, both for Arsenal and also for England as well. So good news on Jack Wilshere. Let's hope he can get back soon. And on the injuries to Welbeck and Thomas Rosicky, said they're progressing well. So they're long-term injuries, but nobody else injured for that game tomorrow. Gabriel's a very interesting one. He was asked about Gabriel, and again, Wenger saying he's not sure what's going to happen with Gabriel. And at the time of this video coming out, we still haven't received any news yet from the FA as to what's going to happen with Gabriel. Remember, they rescinded the red card, but he still faces a charge for not leaving the pitch in a proper and fit manner at the end of the game. Whether they're going to impose a ban on him or not, we're going to have to wait and see. I kind of get the feeling they might put possibly a one-game ban on him for that. I think that's ridiculous, because if you've rescinded the red card, that should be wiped as well. But anyway, we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that. Maybe later on we'll find out. So it all depends on that, whether it will be Gabriel or Mertesacker to start there alongside Koscielny. Again, Mertesacker, I thought the other night was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. But it'll be up against pace tomorrow again, as I said, with Mahrez and Vardy. These are guys that are very, very quick. Don't get me wrong, if Gabriel can't play, Mertesacker will do a great job, but kind of would like to see Gabriel in there, I think, to cope with the pace. He was also asked about Gabriel's English, if he's able to speak English yet. Wenger saying that not very well at the moment. He still doesn't speak great English, but he said he goes, maybe it's an advantage because he doesn't get to understand what's going on at the FA. I'm sure he does understand. And one language I do know he speaks, and that is Portuguese, so he could understand all the rubbish that Costa was chatting last week, and that's why he was getting pretty upset. He was also asked actually about, in the press conference, about technology. One of the journalists said to him, you know, should video technology be brought in? Because basically last week's game now, we know it was an absolute farce because they've rescinded the red card and they've given effectively what should have been a red card to Diego Costa, 3-game ban, which means we would have had a totally different game last week. Costa would have been sent off. Chelsea would have been down to 10 men. It would have been a completely different game. Chelsea, already under pressure going into that game, would probably have played only for the point. It could have been a completely different game. And asked about video technology, his quotes were, when he's asked if it's needed, he said, yes, in these kind of incidents, it could have been a good resource. I don't know, I'm mixed on the video technology thing. In a way, I think if they introduced it, it would have to be like in tennis, where maybe you get 2 calls and then after that, that's it. Because, I mean, watching the Rugby World Cup and the amount of times they stop, start is ridiculous. So I think video technology, yes, but in a way like how they do it in tennis, where you've got like 2 calls, and after that, after you've used up those calls, you can't have any more. I think they use a similar thing in cricket, and that would stop there being too many stoppages. Interestingly, he was asked at a press conference as well about Anthony Martial. Now, Martial, of course, his agent has been pretty vocal on this. It sounds like he's kind of accusing Wenger of not moving for Martial. We're starting to find out that Arsene Wenger had a chance to sign Martial. He was asked about that at a press conference. First of all, he's surprised the way in which Martial started, which Wenger said, listen, I've been very surprised, but he's a very, very talented player, and, you know, he's you know, done excellently. But then he was sort of asked, well, hold on, why didn't you sign him then? You know, and Wenger's answer was that Monaco had stated that Martial is not for sale. They'd said that they were not going to sell Martial at all. Now, again, this is when I moan and groan. Anybody who's watched the transfer dailies over the summer, when I say we're not aggressive enough. Because yes, Monaco said he's not for sale, but how comes Manchester United still got him? All right, they paid way over the odds, but this is proof to me what Arsene Wenger said today, that we're not aggressive enough. We'll just take that and say, okay, not for sale, okay, cool. You've got to go out there and make things happen sometimes. Put pressure on the club. Put in a bigger bid. You know, force their hand. Let them think to themselves, well, you know what, we don't want to sell him, but wow, that offer. You know, we need to reconsider this. Get some of the board members shaky. Then you can get your player. And that is an example to me. Arsene Wenger openly admitting it, that Monaco said he weren't for sale, so they didn't move for him. Get in there. Barcelona don't pull out. Real Madrid don't pull out. Bayern don't pull out. They come back with another bid. They, you know, pester the club. You know, this is what I say. We need to get more aggressive in the transfer market. And finally, in the press conference, he was asked about Matthew Debuchy. Debuchy had a very shaky game the other night. The first half, he was terrible. Second half, I thought he recovered well. He was asking, you know, what's Debuchy's confidence like? Is he going to be able to, does he think he can get back into the team? Big season for Debuchy, because he's trying to get into that French squad. Sanya's now started playing at Man City and is playing well. And Wenger admitted it. He said, listen, he faces massive competition with Hector Bellerin. So, you know, but he thinks he's got the mental strength and everything to get back in the team. But he's going to have to work very hard. He's going to have to play a lot better than he did against Spurs the other night. Incidentally, Spurs fans, what do you think of Tottenham? Listen, thanks for watching the show today. We'll be back again next week with another show where we do a rundown of the press conference. Leave your comments below. What do you think of some of the things that Arsene Wenger has said today at his press conference? Thanks for watching Arsenal Fan TV.